Welcome to the Connective Media Podcast, and I'm your host, Jules Nadlin. Today, we're joined by Christopher Lee Zammit, FX specialist. We're going to talk about the industry pressures, the evolution, fandom community, and his personal film project that has a social cause. Hey, Christopher, thank you so much for joining the Connective Media Podcast today. I'm so excited to have you as a guest.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, we have so much to talk about, don't we?
We
but
do.
let's start with the beginning here. Tell me a little bit about you, your background, and we're going to start at the beginning. Like, what first drew you to entertainment and the creative work that you've done? And tell us what you've worked on.
Sure. So I've been in the movie industry, namely for visual effects, for probably the past 20 plus years. And I've worked on a lot of films such as Top Gun Maverick, while I oversaw all the digital planes in the movie that Tom Cruise said didn't exist. And I have done Transformers, Avengers, Thor, Ghostbusters, Man of Steel, just tons of Star Wars, like just tons of big movies that most people have seen.
I'm literally getting goosebumps because I swear those are all my favorite movies. And I hope our listeners are doing the exact same thing. They're just like, oh my God.
Yeah, I've been very lucky.
Yeah, that is quite the incredible CV. And we know each other outside of this podcast, and I actually didn't even realize that was the breadth and the vast amount of work that you've worked on. Many people think the entertainment industry is all glamour, but I'm assuming that working behind the scenes can be very taxing, possibly emotional. What are the things about the industry that surprised you when you first started working in it?
So I think the thing that surprised me the most was that it does look glamorous from the outside, and you're like, and I do think that the movie industry uses that glamour to maybe bring you in and maybe get you to work longer hours than you normally would. And
Okay. A little bit of a fish hook?
A little bit of a fish hook. But also in the same vein, even myself, I've given extra hours and ghosted things just because I wanted to get them right. So, but one thing that most people probably don't know about the movie industry is that the hours are very long and the work is very hard.
I know that a lot of friends who work in the film industry, and when they're talking about working on set, the hours are insane and it's back to back. So that's the same thing in the back end when you're not on site filming?
100%. There's,
100%?
Yeah, we also, we're at the end of the process in visual effects. So the end of the process means there's no more time. So anything that the director shifted to the back and said, we're going to fix it in post, or, we're going to do this in CG, that's where we end up having to do a lot of extra hard work, because typically the film has to come out on time. So we have to work harder and longer to make it happen.
So you're literally on a time crunch. The clock is ticking.
Almost always.
The sand is going down.
Almost always.
Sand clock. Oh, that's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. But again, we love what we do. So a lot of us just kind of sign up for it.
Yeah. And it sounds like a work of passion as well. So I know that someone who, once you're really invested in something, it's long hours, but you really find the joy in doing it. It's not really a hardship. That's true for you, I gather.
Yeah. I mean, there's maybe not always. There have been some films that felt like work, but for the most part, most of my films have not felt like work.
When we look at the entertainment industry, it's changed a lot over the last decade or so. We've gone from, what is it, VHS? That was a long time ago, to DVDs, to streaming. We are now seeing social media creators being a brand, and, we're entering the world, unfortunately, of AI and creative spaces. Do you want to talk a little bit about those changes in the industry and maybe what you're most worried about?
Sure. I think that most people would probably expect me to say AI, but I'm not really that afraid of it. I think that AI, like any tool, is good if it takes out redundancies and makes things more streamlined and, gets people home sooner. It's just when it's abused that it's not great. If people are being replaced with AI, but that's not my biggest worry. I think the biggest worry would be social media. Yeah. I think that social media has given a lot of people, a smaller attention span, and vertical content. There are even streamers that are asking filmmakers to, make things easier to understand for people who are looking at their phone while they're watching the program. So movies are, where there's subterfuge and, showing the camera, they're now asking to speak directly to the camera and tell the audience what's going on so that you can look up from your phone and still follow along. I think that's the biggest danger.
That is actually quite frightening. I can't remember what movie it was, but I watched a movie, I think it was on Netflix, and literally text copy was part of the film in the visuals, like the conversation the two individuals were having on their phone was presented on the screen. And I'm like, really? Really? This is happening?
Yeah. Yeah. There's vertical content as well. That's like super easy to understand. And like these movies are ridiculous too. They're like, I don't want to say any specific type of movie, but they are very, very easy to follow. And they usually revolve around somebody getting broken up with around Christmas or something. And they're very, very silly stories. And I guess there's some market for it, but I think ultimately that kind of hurts filmmaking and telling human stories from the heart.
Very true. Very true. Let's talk a little bit about Fandom, the movies that you've worked on, and the community. You've been, I guess, 3 times in TFCon and the Transformers convention. Am I correct?
Yes, it's called TFCon. It's a yearly thing. I think it's been going for about 20 or something years. And it's a big convention. They have 2 of them in the States, on different days, and then 1 in Toronto. And, I've been a guest 3 times now, and it's always great to connect with fans and, get signatures on things that you wouldn't expect. Like, you can give an autograph on a picture, but sometimes people will get you to sign movies that you worked on. Somebody got me to sign a razor because I worked on a transformer that turned into it was like a chic razor that turned into a robot.
No way.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I've never signed this before. So it's fun. Somebody got me to sign a lightsaber, even though like I've worked on a Star Wars, but like, people just want to meet somebody that's worked in film and stuff. I have also been to Fan Expo as a guest in Toronto, and that one was less interesting, I guess, because most people didn't know who I was, because we're kind of behind the scenes. And but it was interesting because the comic book artists knew what I had done and who I was, and they were the ones who were like gushing and fanboying. And I'm like, okay, you are the fan here. You're the star here. I don't understand. So, but yeah.
That's great. Let's talk about a really great project you're working on. Are we allowed to talk about it?
Yeah, I can mention some things. So
can you share a little bit about the film project and the heart of the story, or anything you want to share with our listeners and viewers? Because I'm excited about this one.
Sure. So I guess all of my years in film have been sort of like an education into creating my own films. And this past 2 years now, I've been working on my first feature film, writing and directing and somewhat producing. And it's been a very, very amazing learning experience. I'm learning new things again, which is really exciting for me. Like I would normally help people finish their projects and feel good about it, but this time I'm actually making something myself. The film is called Dead Pixels, and it's basically about a VFX studio that's being forced to work through a zombie pandemic. And the best part about this is it's not really about the zombies. The zombies are just sort of like an analogy for the crunch time. There's a double entendre in there as well. But the story is about a girl who's facing, she's actually an invisible artist. She's probably the most talented person, but she's hiding her potential. And she sort of has to rise and help her team finish the movie before they close the studio. And she's doing it in honor to save her brother's memory. So it's got a heartwarming story about somebody who's dealing with the loss of her brother.
So it's a heartfelt story at the baseline as well of the project. Yeah,
the baseline. I guess I could tell you a little bit about the origin of the story.
Could you please? I'm sure I'd love to hear it.
Yeah. So a couple of years ago, when I started this project, I lost a friend and a mentor who was no longer with us.
Sorry for your loss.
Thank you. And it kind of affected me a lot because he was my first boss, and he struggled through things, but there was, he always had work to sort of pick him up and and guide him through. But with the strikes that we had a couple of years ago, he just sort of fell away from us. So, and I also lost another friend, Malcolm, who I worked with at Mill Film when I was working on Cats. Oh yeah, you notice I didn't bust out Cats earlier. And a movie called Fidge.
Okay.
And we lost Malcolm as well. So these deaths hit me really hard. And as a leader in doing visual effects in films, I really strive to make sure that everybody is happy and healthy in their bodies, in their minds, because I believe that what we're doing is not worth dying for, is not worth losing anyone for. We're supposed to be making things to lift people up. So when conditions aren't like that, it's time to take notice. So I decided to make this film in honor of Bo and Malcolm, and also my cousin Stephen, who we've all lost. And I wanted to make this film a comedy horror, so that people would be open to maybe some harder to handle topics in a fun, enlightening way, and to draw some attention to the VFX community in a positive light, in a fun way that would also make people go away and think after being entertained.
Sorry, my eyes are getting a little teary here. I'm not going to lie. I really admire that. And once this project becomes a living, working thing and it's out there and we can all go see this feature film you're working on, you're going to be using some of those profits to go directly to a cause. Is that correct?
Yeah. So what I would like to do is in some way offer support to people that generally don't have support, especially post-COVID. Again, this movie is also a connection to COVID. The pandemic is sort of like the zombie pandemic is sort of like a parody of COVID as well.
So COVID is the zombie?
Yeah, in a way. So okay. I think everybody will be able to understand some of the humor in the film because they went through COVID, and everybody did. Okay. But what I'd like to do is to take some of the success of that film and channel it into resources for artists who are struggling and may not have an idea of where to go or who to listen to. Because I think, especially post-COVID, a lot of people are in homes, like in their home, working away. They have no idea if they're doing a good job or not. their thoughts can get the better of themselves. And I just want to offer a platform or space where people can be heard and remembered and taken care of, because
Great.
it's not worth losing anybody over a film.
No. And those supports will go specifically to people in your industry.
Yes, I think I would probably expand it to gaming, the gaming industry, and
Gaming industry as well. Okay.
yeah, and film, television, gaming, basically creative types who are generally softer and more sensitive and less likely to reach out when they're feeling any kind of way.
And I feel that when we talk about isolation and in your reference to the COVID pandemic and being at home, I think people are still suffering from lack of connectiveness and human elements, because we're still living in a post-COVID world of hybrid work or working from home and being siloed and not being connected. So
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I would also say that a lot of the things that we say are taken out of context because people are reading it, or
right.
or just sending emails, or even if people are at the office, we're still having meetings online because not everybody's in the office. So I do believe that community is the best, and for us to be with other people, physical contact, it's
100%, 100% again.
It does wonders.
So much more can be accomplished if you're actually in the same room. I mean, I love that we do a video podcast because I think it brings true feelings and emotions, but in person can never be replaced.
I would agree with that entirely.
In your industry now, is most of it remote, or is there do you know if there's an office, or has it been completely fragmented from the pandemic?
I mean, we used to be under strict lock and key, because of the films that we worked on are so high security.
Right.
Working from home was actually a hard thing to do at the beginning because of those, usually I would have to scan in 2-3 times to get to my desk, and you have to log in and change your passwords, and it was, and there's strict no social media, lots of rules, lots of NDAs and rules. And so when the pandemic happened, we were forced to work from home, which was very different.
Shift.
Yeah, it was a huge shift. So things kind of relaxed a little bit. Now that they've relaxed, they haven't really gone back all the way. Although I think some people would like to. I personally prefer to work in an office with people. But some people still want to stay home. And also some people are more productive in the office and some people are more productive at home. So we're in this limbo of, and I guess it really depends on, does the boss like working from home? Or does the boss like everybody to be in the studio? And everybody has to sort of follow suit. So I think it's kind of hybrid. I think we've landed on hybrid, generally 3 days in the studio and 2 days at home. It just really depends on the company, but I don't think it's going
goals and
I don't think it's going away.
And security levels.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to your film project, is there a timeline that you're working on to get this developed? Is there anything else you want to share with our viewers and audience around your independent vision and dream right now?
Yeah, so I am setting forth to try to create a film that's made by humans for humans. Okay. I am trying to minimize AI from ever being used. We won't be using AI in the film. We are using some AI production tools and AI things at the beginning to get funding, etc. But the film itself will be human made, and we're really proud of that. There's even I guess I'll say this: we have an AI villain in the movie, as you can imagine, but we plan on stealing jobs from AI by having live actors play all the AI parts. So We're
I
just
love that.
yeah, we're just gonna film
great
18
twist.
guys that looks we're almost the same. You're like, is that the same guy from shot to shot? And then so the other thing is we are hoping to get out by October 2027. That's the
October 2027. Okay.
That's the goal, because we feel that this is a conversation that needs to happen soon. And right now, original films are all the rage right now. And this film is absolutely original. I don't think I've ever seen, I've tried and looked, I haven't seen any film that actually features a VFX studio or artists. So I think this would be the world's first. And I think it's an important conversation to have, and to, show the world kind of behind the curtains, and, and just have a fun laugh at it.
Now, for the premiere of this, where if you would have exactly where you wanted, where would you see that being?
Premiere of this.
I caught you off guard, didn't I?
Yeah, you know what? I think I would.
Is it the Toronto Film Festival? Is it Cannes?
I think since the film is based in Toronto, I think that honestly, TIFF would be the best launch for that. I think, yeah. I think that would be the most.
TIFF 2027.
TIFF 2027. Yeah.
It's going to happen, my friend. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
for sharing all of this. And if anybody wants to stay connected with you, learn more about your project, get involved, what's the best way for them to do that?
We are actually, thanks for asking that. We are actually really excited about building a following for this, because a film like this, it actually needs a momentum. And actually, we're really getting quite the momentum right now. I've had like 4 producers like trying to get this project under their banner. But if you want to follow the whole process, I'm documenting it at strangeoctopuspictures.com. So strangeoctopuspictures.com, all one word.
We'll put that in the show notes.
Yes. And then we are also going to have a newsletter. So please follow the mailing list, and we're basically revealing how we're making the film from scratch, which is an unorthodox thing to do. Usually people say like, look at our finished product, but we're basically showing you how humans are going to do it, instead of just showing you like what AI can do. We're going to show you how things are built so other humans can do the same.
Okay. And I think you do have a LinkedIn profile as well. Am I correct?
I do have a LinkedIn profile. It's also called Strange Octopus Pictures. That's a company banner. And again, we're going to be updating quite frequently. We have an Instagram, but it's not really, there's nothing being posted to that just yet. Maybe this show will be the first one.
Okay, yeah.
So
we'll definitely make sure that you're a collaborator when we share this on our socials.
100%.
And get that going. Thank you so much, Christopher.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I look forward to viewing your Dead Pixels at TIFF 2027. Let's make that happen. I can't wait to see
you there. You'll be my honored guest.
I'll buy all the popcorn.
All right.
A big thank you to Christopher again for joining us on the Connected Media podcast. Remember to stay connected with him to learn more about Dead Pixels and how he's going to keep humanizing the film industry. Thank you for listening, and remember, keep telling the stories that matter.